I have thinking about this, what I was talking about last episode about psychic, to be psychic or a prophet. And I wanted to talk about it. It's, I think it's January 18 or 19, 2023. And I didn't know when when God come down and talked to me and took me out. I have no clue. I didn't know anything about the Bible or the church or God or heaven. I didn't know anything. I was zero in knowledge. And it built up more and more when I was in first. God took me to United States, and I was in first. I did some of this I maybe have talked about earlier in my podcast, but when I didn't know anything about God, I know God have coming and talked to me. That I knew, and I knew about this. I didn't know the higher priest, but I was thinking it was Jesus because that was someone I knew a little about, but I didn't know. I guess, as I assume it was like that, and I come to Seattle in Washington D.C. But I had done. I was wondering where should I fly to. I knew only that I should fly back to United States. I had been married in Texas. I was married when I left Sweden, and I didn't know where to go, so I cut out papers, small pieces of paper, and threw it on the floor. And I knew I should go back to United States. But where in United States should I go? Because I have no friends in United States to go to. I have no family to go to in United States, so I didn't know. So I took out some papers, all the states in United States first, and then in that state I wrote down all the cities there is in that state, and I picked it up, and I didn't know anything about Virginia state, and I thought that is not true what it should be. I didn't trust it, the papers. So I come to talk to a man in Seattle, and he wanted me to come there, and he should help me, he say. And that's my problem in my whole life, that I trust men. And today I don't trust men. At last, in so high age, I come to understand that I should not trust men. I need to trust God, but I didn't have God in that time. even if he had coming and talking to me, didn't I believe that it was. I knew it was God that talking to me, but I didn't know that I should learn from him and from heaven. So I was zero, still zero when I come to Seattle, and then it go wrong the whole time, and then I come to Virginia Beach in Virginia as the papers say from the start, but I could have done that, but I think it was something about my education in God that it should be like I did. I go to Seattle first, and then to Chicago area, and then I go to Florida, and then I come up to Virginia, and without any money. In that way God do it, or heaven do it. And so when I come back to Sweden, I was not strong in my belief still, even if I have got help very much, but I also have got failure. Have been raped, and I almost have been killed many times in the United States, so it was not a smooth education. But today I know it should be like that. But I should not want to go back to where I was from the beginning, but I have not wanted to be a comfort and not know God like that. I needed to learn about God and heaven, because I come from heaven, and uh, I have been on earth, like heaven say I have been born again 6 times, and so it was returning to earth, and I needed to go through the whole thing that I was sent to do from heaven. These things I have done, even if it looked like that can't be God, because how much bad things you are going through. But it was a learning. It was a learning, and the learning can't be a learning from only smooth, nice things. If you are protected the whole time of your family here on earth, and they know exactly what person you should marry, and you get kids and all these things that most people dream about, and then is it that you are missing out things in life that it should be not so nice to do, but it is important for your life to come to know these things exist. Bad things exist, and that's why many people are saying that they don't believe that there is any devil and there is no struggling or something like that, because they have not experienced it and are not like in our thinking protect us ourselves in that way because we have experienced it. And I say that if something happened to those people that have had a smooth life, nothing very bad things have happened in their life, they can't take it. If something happened to them that is negative when they have growing old, it's hard for them to take it, to could survive in a crisis, in problems times. But we that have going through this sometimes very bad things in life, we have that protection in us. We are prepared to meet these things, even if we maybe not doing right choices or can fight this so well, but we are at least half a way to could deal with those things. When people that have never experienced anything of bad, they are not prepared. They are going so like an old car that has standing still for a long time, and then you turn on the engine and it's break down. You need to drive around with the car sometimes, not only let it stay there, and then after 5 years you start it and it's going bad. You need to have it ongoing, prepared. If you need to take the car and drive away with it, or sell it, and you should show that the car is perfect, and then it's not perfect because you have not drive around it a little. That's about that, to be prepared for both good things and bad things to come in life. Not be only negative. That's not good. That can cause diseases inside your body, inside your brain, to always think negative of everything. So it was this, now when I come back to Sweden from United States after 3.5 years, I was in a newspaper because I was thinking I had no money, I had no work, I had no home, and I had a home, but it was not my home, but I could bring people into my home. And the first I did was to take contact with a local newspaper and told them about me being homeless in the United States and coming back to Sweden, and in my homeless in the United States I come to know God. But it was only a start to know God when I was to the local newspaper, but I thought I have been educated in that time. So I say that I didn't rely on myself. I didn't rely in my contact with God. So I told in the interview that I did it for free, and that I still are doing, but I should not go with such comfort that I have today. But that was, I come back to Sweden in 2004, and it was maybe 2006, I had this in the newspaper, and I say that if people wanted to get contact with people that have passed away, or if they have any sickness in them, that I could take care of it, and they didn't need to pay anything. It was for free. I say because I didn't trust myself, and I didn't trust heaven. I didn't trust God. So I was thinking, if I do it for free, then they can't come and blame me for I have said and done wrong things. So I did that, and I thought it should be very much people, but Sweden is different from United States. People, it's not many people that really believe in God. So I'd be disappointed because there was not many that took contact with me, but some did it, and this was more psychic things I did in the beginning, and one maybe I'll talk about it in another episode of my podcast, but there is some that I remember from that time, and it was special. A woman that she had not take contact with me first when I was in the newspaper, but after she say after 1 year she had cut out that article about me, and then she had forgot it, she said, and then she find it 1 year later when she was cleaning up, and she say I should come to her home, and I found her home, and she was maybe 75 years old, and she didn't want to say what it was, and but the first I noticed when I come into her home, it was that it was a cat there, and the cat come to me and go up on my knee and stood with his two legs on the floor, but two up on my leg, and welcome me. And the woman looked at the cat very surprised, shocked that the cat did that to me. And then she say that I could welcome into my home, she say. And I told her that she was going with me to her living room, and where she had her television, and she say, this is my son, she say, and showing me a picture of a young man, maybe 20 years old. Oh, okay, it's nice son, I say, and she say, can you feel something in my home, she say, and I say that I need to go around in your home and get those energy going on, cold and warm energy, I say, that I can feel. If there is place that is cold and warm, I say. And I go round and then I come into her bedroom, and it was a bed for 2 people. I go directly into one side of the bed, and I felt, I hold my hand over the bed and I say, this place is very cold. The other side is warm, but this is cold, I say. And she be shocked, and she said, my son used to lay there when he's coming and visit me, she say. So I felt it was cold. And then I go back to the picture and I say that he have not been here for a long time. He have not been sleeping in that bed because it's cold, the bed, I say to her. And then she started to say that my son is missing since about 1 year, and no one have seen him. And that cat, she never do this to other people that's coming. She run away and hide, but she welcome you to come into this home, she say. So I thought it was very strange that the cat welcome you home to me. And I said to her that her son is he have been out in a boat, and people have left him on an island, a small island, and left him there, and he had no clothes on. He was nude when they left him. So whoever saw him and come to see what's going on, they couldn't know who he was because he had no clothes on. He was nude. He is alive, I say to her, but he is not in this area. You have talked to the police and you have talked to the hospital in this area, but he is a young man, and when they do their parties, drinking, they can move away very far more than what we expected it. So you need to call the hospital and the police in other districts, in some other counties around here. You can't only ask around the city when he's missing, I say to her, and he is still alive, but very bad condition, and I didn't know what to tell her because I didn't want to tell her that he was on his way to die, and but I didn't want to tell a lie. I couldn't lie for her. So I told her that he is in the hospital and waiting for you to come. He waiting for you to, and then for you to say goodbye to him. He's waiting for you, but he can't talk so they don't know who he is in the hospital, I say to her. And it was like she be not shocked at all what I say to her. It was like she knew that he was in very bad condition, and that he could have died like that, and he still was waiting for hers. So, and I say that I can't do so much about him, but I can do something for you, I told her. And I touch her, and she say it's come like a comfort inside me that it was okay, that I will never see him again, but I have a time to say goodbye to him, she say to me. And she was almost happy because now she knew what had been going on. So after 1 year she was thinking that she understood that he was not alive anymore, that it was it. But when I lay hand on her, she be comfort. And she say, I am not nervous anymore. I'm really rest and peace inside me, she say. So, and she say many times, it's very strange that the cat come and greet you and want you to come in like the cat knew that you know where his owner was. So that was a very strange thing I did. And then it was another mother that want me to come, and when I come in, her daughter was laying in a bed, and she told me that they have sent her daughter home from the hospital for her daughter to die in the home instead of the hospital. So I walk into this young woman and hold her hand and say hello to her. And she was laying in her bed, and she had food going into her stomach. So she couldn't walk up from the bed because she had some cords on her, and then she had some dropped into her stomach. So I could only touch her and talk to God about this woman. And then her mother wanted us to drink a cup of coffee. So she made coffee and some buns for me. And then we sit there and drink coffee. And suddenly her daughter come out. She had been laying in the bed, very on her way to die. And her daughter come into the table where we sit. She sit down with us, and then she start to talk. And her mother say that she have not been talking for some weeks now. She didn't talk to you when you come. She can't talk. But the daughter started talking, and she told her mother that she had a cancer in her throat, so that's why she couldn't speak. But she told her mother that it was not me that was talking. We heard the daughter talking, and she told her mother that when she did the studies in the school, a man come and raped her, and she say that she had been so very angry at this man raped her. She was screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming until she couldn't scream anymore. And that's how she break something in her throat, and she got cancer in her throat. And the mother was very shocked, and the daughter standing up from her chair, and then she took our coffee cups and walked into the kitchen in another next room, and we saw her. She was washing dishes in front of us, and she was okay. And so the woman, she thanked me for have healed her daughter, and she ordered a taxi for me to need to not walk home, because she was so happy for what I had done. And so I come home in taxi. This woman, she was 28 years old, that had cancer in her throat. And it was very strange that what happened. But I needed to believe it. I had done some healings in United States when I walk around as homeless. I met people, and I have done some healings, and I know where healing is coming from, because I have told you that have listened all my episodes in my podcast, that I was only 2-3 years old when my adopted older sister pushed me out in the street, and a car ran over me, and I was killed. And then I wake up in a cold black room, and I was laying like a table, and on that table I laying there without any clothes, and I was freezing first because it was very cold inside this room where I laying. And then suddenly it started to come a bright light from the ceiling, and I felt something very metallic holding my shoulder to hold me so I didn't move around. And then the bright light was very warm, and it was moving all over my nude body. I was 2 or 3 years old. And then my mother told me that you should have died you were dead, but the doctors say that uh, if I had, if you have lain there, uh, you should have been killed, but of some reason you wake up. The doctor said that to my mother, and he thought I could not survive what was going on, and now when I going older and my skin is going more thin, then it's showing up some scars that I have never seen before. It's the doctor say that my heart is in this center of the body. It's not on the right side or the left side. It's just in front of my body. And when I was pregnant with my son, they told me that I had much pain because I was split in my hips. It was not the whole skeleton inside me, and I didn't know what they were talking about because I didn't think about that. That my mother said that I should have been dead, and I come to alive again. She said to me, and so that healing that come over my body in that cold room, that healing light and energy that come into my body and heal me and make me come to live again. It is inside me, and people think that God is healing people when I touch people. That is God that's sending energy to heal people. But I have told people that I have that healing energy inside my body. That's why I'm still alive, even if I have very much going on in my body that should have killed other people. But I survive the whole time, and but I still are bad in my body. But I am not killed of it. And last I heard that the doctor about the cancer in my pancreas, that I am on my way to get cancer in my pancreas. But now when I took the paper with me to Israel, I read that pancreas was on its way to get cancer in the 80s because I was drinking much in the 80s. But then I stopped drinking, and then it never developed the cancer because I didn't harm my body so much as I had when I was younger. And so it's inside me, that healing energy, and I can, if I come to your home, to your city, to your church, I am allowed to come into your church and help people to be healed. That I can do today. But that they have nothing with God to do more than what He did when I was 2-3 years old. That I got that healing energy inside me. That I can do that on people, but that is not God need to be there to send energy, healing energy through my hands, because that energy is in my body. But of course it was God from the beginning, and heaven from the beginning to send me here to. I think I could help God and heaven by coming down. I wanted to do one more round on earth to help, but today I say it's not much I can help, because people have made up their mind to not believe, and not believe in that way I teach you about. A spirit here is now saying that to you. It sounds strange when he's saying this, because it's so much negative going on about it. But he is saying that to you that listen, that you can be your own God in that way, that you learn from this podcast and you learn what the heaven tell you, what's going on in the dimensions that most people doesn't see and hear from, or denied it. That you can he's so strong. He had placed himself inside my brain now. It's not over my body, but in the brain. He's talking to you about it. That God is God, he says, but he say this, that my mother come and talked to me after she had died, and she say this, you on earth think there is only one God, but we are many, she said to me. And that doesn't mean that they are equal with God, because there is only one God on his own, in his own spheric room, throne room, and but we can be the God in ourselves in that way, that we want to learn, and we listen and take it in, and can do those things that that heaven is telling us to do, and how to think. You can be your own God. He's telling this to you now. You can be your own God in that way, that you are like the room before God. So you are almost to open up the door to the God's throne room, to enter in there and talk to God himself in that way. you can make every step there. You don't need to stand still where Jesus are, and Jesus open a door. He is the door, but he is not God. He is the door to heaven, and you need to learn more. And Jesus say that in I have this website address that is, I'm so bad in to remember how, John 16 and 12.com. I think it's that, or is it John 12 and 16? I think it's John 16 and 12, where Jesus is saying that he can't tell everything that he knew about God and heaven, because his disciple couldn't take it. They should not could understand it, because Jesus knew that his time was short, and he needed to teach the disciple the basic, the foundation of what will come in the future. But he couldn't tell them the future, because they were too short. It was too much technical advances that he wanted to tell them, but they should never could understand it. But today we know. We if Jesus was here, it is Jesus that is here. That's why it's so very strong, this energy that is inside my brain, almost give me a headache. And that it's Jesus that is talking. So he couldn't. He wanted to tell them everything that he knew about, but they were not advanced in their brain. That's why he is in my brain now, because that he's talking now. Jesus is talking. He say that knowledge you have inside your brain, that is knowledge in the disciples' time. That was about to have 100 wise men's knowledge in your brain compared to their brain, he's telling. And I could only give them the basic to come to know. And he say I fail in that way to give them power that they should have, because then it changed. After that I went away, it started to change, and the devil take over the education. And he say what I have now is to talk to you, for you to talk to people what I wanted them to know, what I wanted to tell my disciple what was in the future, what is going on in the future. But the future was too far away from them, so they couldn't. And he reminded me about what God was saying about this with UFO and alien in year 2000. Because God said the answer on my question what UFO and alien is about, because they have been to me and they have adopted me. They have taken me away to. It was aliens that took me to Jerusalem the first time in 1978, and I didn't know what it was. They showed me, and I was inside a spaceship and saw what's inside there, and I saw this pipe in the center, and the hand that was on the side of the pipe for to open the pipe, it needed to know my DNA, and the hand hold the DNA that I placed there, and it read my hand, it read my DNA and knew that it was me. So when I laid the hand on the wall and it opened the pipe, I come back to my home, and I don't know how before I come in the pipe. I don't know anything about that. I only know the last thing I remember was that I lay my hand on the side of the pipe, and it was a hand, and I should lay my hand over the hand. And then I don't remember anything more. And that was before God come. So that was the future, but they are also the past. But God is here and now. So when God say they are the people of the future, he say about UFO and aliens, then Jesus remind me now that I should think about that the future, I didn't know the future, but the future can be here and now, and as it is, we're living in the last days. It can come something like that to Earth. And this about, I had contact for maybe 4 years ago with a man that have seen aliens, and what have coming true, what he was telling me. He said that he could see, he was in a restaurant and sitting and eat together with friends, but then suddenly it come a little alien on the side of one of his friends, and it was like they were away, his friends, and the alien was only talking to him at the table, and the alien told him that there is no religion, that what the alien say to this man. And in that time I believe that there was religion, so but I heard heard that this man, it was an ex-pilot man that told me this. And after, now I know it, that was true, what the aliens say to this man. The aliens say there is no religion. He said that, and we are coming to that time when many people don't believe in religions. The sad thing that is that they have going away from to think there is a God, and instead they're going to evil things and be lied on of the devil instead. And it's very sad that they can't accept that there is no religion, but God exists. They must, when they lost their religion, they lost God also, and that is total wrong. You have to come back to God. God is not what man is telling you. It's not about books. It is what God is and heaven talk to you about today. So it seems like I have coming to that end of days, that what the aliens say to this man that was talking to me, but I stopped talking to him before the pandemic comes. But maybe it was sent an alien to me and talked to me about that the alien don't have any religion. They don't have that religion, but they believe in God, because when I come to the spaceship, I had someone with me, and when it was an opening and we fly into the spaceship, those aliens that was there with white clothes, they bowed down their head down to the ground in the spaceship. And I didn't know God, so I was thinking they were frightened, so they hide their face for this one that took me to the spaceship. But today I know it was God that took me to the spaceship, or someone in heaven that wanted me to see this spaceship. And so I know how it looked like. I remember how it looked like in the spaceship. But I thought they were frightened because I was frightened. It was before I knew God. So I thought they took down their head in the ground. But it was because he was so powerful, that man that was with me into the spaceship. So I was psychic more before. I did psychic was to work with people in that way, and I'm waiting for. I have waiting for a church or a group of people that want me to come to their home. But now you need to come and help me to come to your place. If you want me to help you and do things for your group of people, your gathering, you need to come and take me to your place, and I gladly do it. If you have a bed for me to sleep in, and like my own room at least, and I could talk to you better, and in that way I can do psychic things also, because I see your face. I see sometimes your face here also, but literally you are there, and I can touch you, and I can heal you, and I can tell you what heaven talking about from heaven to you. Not everyone that listen to you specific to you what heaven want to tell you. That I can do, because I can do psychic things. I can do healing things, and I can talk to everyone from heaven. And most of those that is coming to me and talking, they are related to me in one way or another, like they say in Jerusalem 2016. They say that to me. We are all connected in one or another way. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.